Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE News and Rumors. I'm your host, Mr. Brandon Hodge. This video is brought to you by SeatGeek. So if you guys are looking for tickets for anything, including WrestleMania tickets are going on sale via SeatGeek. Use code Hodge. Save yourselves $20 off any ticket you want, even if it's for WrestleMania or something. First time orders only. So make a new account, use the code, save yourselves $20 freaking. So ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of juicy news stories and rumors to talk about, so let's go ahead and jump into the first news story. So the first news story is going to be about none other than The Undertaker. So The Undertaker had a streak. Once upon a time, The Undertaker had a streak. This streak was the greatest streak of all time. It went for over 20 years. He was undefeated at the WrestleMania, biggest pay-per-view of them all, pretty much the Super Bowl of wrestling. He was undefeated. And then there was this horrible man by the name of Brock Lesnar that came along and dethroned this undefeated streak and beat Undertaker. Obviously, wrestling is, whatever kind of terminology you want to use. It's work. It's predetermined or whatever. And basically, Undertaker was the one who made the decision for Brock to beat him. And he wanted Brock to beat him. Now looking back, years later, Undertaker's like, man, looking back, I kind of wish I would have had Roman Reigns beat the streak. Because Roman probably needed it more at that time. I don't think Brock needed it at that time. Brock going in was already a megastar, already a big, huge deal. I think Roman would have benefited. If Roman would have been the one in 21 and 1, that would have been a huge deal, especially if he had Heyman by his side. It would have really launched Reigns and be like, oh my god. The next news story is about the whole episode show, Mr. Rob Van Dam. So Rob Van Dam, he was doing an interview and he was basically asked, like, hey man, are you ever going to wrestle for WWE again? I heard you're not allowed to wrestle for WWE anymore because your concussions or whatever. And he's like, no, that's not the case, man. Like, there's been a lot of rumors about that. WWE have never mentioned anything about my concussions to me. It's just kind of a thing. Like, I'm an older guy or whatever, and I'll be in and out or whatever when they want. I actually have a contract with the WWE right now. They're actually making 2 action figures of me or whatever. And in that contract, they can call me to wrestle for them or whatever if they want to. But yeah, I pretty much have a contract with them. So RVD has a contract with them. I don't believe he's I don't know what this contract is. I don't know if RVD cannot wrestle for other wrestling companies. If that's what this contract is. I think it's a Legends deal. But I guess technically he could wrestle if they wanted him to. But I don't know if he can go. Just this contract's mess turned into a big mess after a while. You really got to read the fine print. I don't know what his says. But basically RVD says, yes, he will wrestle for the WWE again in the future. No questions asked if they just give him a call. All right, the next news story. The next news story is about the man. We got Becky Lynch, the man. So basically, Becky Lynch has done an interview and was asked about this whole Charlotte mess. If you guys don't know the rumor we're talking about here, basically there's a rumor going around that Charlotte Flair has went off the handle. She's crazy. She's backstage. She's throwing fits. She's trying to fight people. She's trying to punch Vince in the face. I mean, it wasn't really that bad, but apparently there's some kind of big disagreement between Becky Lynch and Charlotte, and then somehow Sonya got involved in the whole thing, and then Charlotte said something to Sonya, made Sonya so mad that she wanted to fight Charlotte. Then Charlotte got kicked out backstage. They threw her out the door or something. Security had to prevent her from breaking back in or something. I don't know what's true or what's not true. Becky basically confirmed there was some kind of issue backstage. She didn't say if Sonya was involved. She didn't say if Charlotte was kicked out of the door. She basically said, there's situations backstage sometimes you gotta step and be the hero, and I was the hero in that situation, Becky said. Yeah, that's basically it. And she said Becky and Charlotte no longer talk. They are no longer friends. They used to be best friends, super, super close friends, and we all knew that, especially in NXT days. But apparently they just grew apart, or maybe they had some kind of conflict or something. I don't really try to dive in too much to personal lives or whatever, but if it's something's happening backstage where it's a big deal, where someone's being kicked out of the building or something, I'll mention it here in the news show. But yeah, Becky did mention something did happen and they're no longer friends, but she's not really saying how bad the situation was backstage. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the final news story before I jump into some rumors, it is about none other than The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So, what do we have to say about him? Well, there's been some rumors going around, within the past year that the main event of WrestleMania 38 in Dallas, the main event is going to be Roman Reigns, the current Universal Champion, Tribal Chief, taking on his actual cousin, The Rock. So, The Rock's coming back to face Reigns, and maybe The Rock's going to take the title off Reigns. That was WrestleMania 38 rumors, and now it's kind of changed a little bit, saying no, now it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at 38, maybe Rock for 39. The Rock was actually asked about this in an interview, and The Rock basically came out and said, yeah, those rumors, I hate to break it, but the rumors are not true. There's no plans for that. But, you know, maybe in the future. We'll see what happens in the future. That's what The Rock had to say. He's not immediately saying, no, I'm never wrestling Roman Reigns ever. He's saying, no, there's no plans of that right now, but we'll see in the future. So, yeah, it's definitely looking like a 39 situation. Rock, Reigns, 39, maybe. But definitely not for 30. I think they're going to do, like, Reigns and Lesnar is the current plan for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that's the only confirmed news stories I'd talk to you guys about today. I would go ahead and suggest for you guys to go get your juice boxes out. Get your juice boxes ready, ladies and gentlemen. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to talk about some juicy rumors. The first rumor is about Xavier Woods' YouTube channel, Up, Down, Down. I'm calling it his YouTube channel. So WWE wrestlers are allowed to have social media. They're allowed to have YouTube and stuff like that. But WWE owns it because WWE pretty much owns them. They own their likeness and stuff. So if they're in the video, they have to own the video. And when it gets to like these different kinds of social medias, like, you know, like Cameo and Twitch and YouTube, these social medias where you can actually make money off of, WWE is like, yeah, you can't make money with your likeness. So you can't, like, if you're in it, yeah, we own that, so we get the money. But sometimes they're nice and give them a part of it or whatever. But recently, they've been doing this whole crap, this whole spiel that, no, all the money you get from there, we're going to take it, and I'm just going to towards your downside guarantee, which what that means is the wrestlers are guaranteed an amount of money every year. Let's say your contract is worth, I don't know, like $400,000. So you got $400,000 guaranteed coming to you, but you want to make some extra cash on the side or whatever, right? You need some extra cash, you got crazy expenses or whatever. So you start a YouTube channel, being like, hey, I'm going to do some YouTube videos, do some vlogs, make some extra cash. Well, that money, you don't get to keep because WWE is going to take it from you. But is WWE going to give you a cut of that? No, they're not. The money you actually make for that, a part of it is going to go towards your downside guarantee. So basically, all that does is just helping WWE pay your money that you're guaranteed to get. And you don't get any extra. So basically, right now, Xavier Woods and people are kind of sick of it, and this goes towards other wrestlers that are on it as well. They're kind of sick of not being able to make any extra money, so they're pretty much like on a holdout right now. They're on like a strike from really making new content for Up, Down, Down. They may be pre-filmed stuff that they're releasing, but nothing that they're currently filming. They're kind of having a holdout, trying to get some kind of portion of the money. I mean, there's some rumors that Xavier may be getting a very slice of extraness, but not very much at all, if it's anything, but it's just going towards the downside guarantee more than likely. So something's really got to change, because this is a really, really stupid and major problem. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, they want to do something on the side. That's their business. Like, what the hell? They're not wrestling on the side or anything like that. You're a wrestling company. Don't worry about it. If they're trying to make a YouTube vlog or a YouTube cooking show or something, let them do their thing on the side. They're not wrestling for another company. If they're wrestling for another company, I can understand it, having a problem. But, like, this makes no sense. So hopefully something changes, or if not, I don't know what the future holds. Seriously, this is crazy. All right, the next rumor. The next rumor is going to be about the Mysterio. So we have a tag team of Rey Mysterio and his son, Dominik Mysterio. So the question remains, with all tag teams, so when they're going to split up? When are they going to turn each other? When are they going to wrestle each other? It's going to be an interesting match and probably a very interesting storyline, some writing and stuff. Maybe they could bring in, I just kind of want them to bring in the whole Eddie Guerrero thing that they did years ago when Dominik was a little kid, saying that Rey's not really Dominik's father. It's Eddie. It's Eddie Guerrero. I kind of just want like a throwback to that or something like that, even if they don't run with it as the truth or whatever, just something. But anyway, they are building for this. I don't know. It's going to happen at a big pay-per-view. They're already having a little bit of problems where Dominik's being like full of himself, like, I don't need you. I can do this myself. And they're just going to keep building and building until it explodes into a match. And I'm hoping they're going to hold this off to WrestleMania. They're starting to kind of work the strings to work towards that, it looks like. So Rey Mysterio, Dominik Mysterio wrestling each other at WrestleMania. That's what my vote's in for. There's nothing really, I don't believe, currently planned for like a specific show, but they are working to have them split up and actually wrestle each other at a different, like in a future date. I just don't know what that date is. But I'm thinking WrestleMania, that's your perfect venue. Biggest show of the year. Have Rey versus his son, Dominik. They're turning on each other, and it's just going to be like a great moment. So WrestleMania, do it, WWE. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the final news story, the final thing I'll be talking about inside this episode of WWE News Rumors. So this was a very simple one, and it's about vaccination, specifically. I just realized I can't say that word. Not WWE, but YouTube is weird on me about saying certain words like that, even though it's the reason for the pandemic. Anyway, the thing causing the pandemic, that, you know, virus, the thing you have to get vaccinated for, that's what WWE's basically doing. They're going to start pretty much requiring all wrestlers to get vaccinated. Now, the higher up wrestlers, of course, if they refuse to get vaccinated, they're going to work with them and be like, fine, like, we're just going to have to test you regularly or whatever. But if it's like NXT people refusing to get vaccinated, they're pretty much going to release them, which I don't know if they can legally do that, but they'll probably just release them and say it's for budget cuts or something. And that had to do with like this whole release. We had what was it, last week or whatever. Pretty much more than half of the people released were unvaccinated, and that had a lot to do with it. But basically, WWE's going to start requiring it for all wrestlers. Higher ups, they're probably not going to release them, but if it's like someone they're not really using or whatever, they'll definitely be like, this is too big of a risk. And if we're doing shows where in like places where vaccinations are mandated and you guys can't even travel there, we're kind of just paying you guys not even to wrestle. So it becomes a bit of a problem like that. So they're pretty much requiring it. Things are getting very, very strict with the whole thing, and I believe it's going to get even worse. And I don't really want to stand here and be all political or whatever. And I know some people are very, very against it. Some people are all for it. Some people don't really care. If it's going to prevent me from doing things I love, then hell, just give it to me, because what life is it not being able to do anything you love? But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing with the whole wrestlers and probably fans too. WWE is going to be more strict, as well as I guess everywhere, the whole world is going to be more strict on requiring it. So that is the update on WWE, and they're actually going to be releasing some wrestlers probably that aren't going to get it. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for this episode of WWE News Rumors. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Right now, it's going to leave a link to 2 previous videos for you guys to check out, as well as a button to subscribe to this channel if you guys happen to be brand new here. But I am Brandon Hodge, and I will see you guys in the next video.